My name's Adrian Furnham. I am a professor of leadership and organizational behavior at the Norwegian Business School. I am an academic and a consultant. I give lots of talks, I write lots of books, and I have fun when I can. Failure upsets everybody. There's no doubt about it. It upsets some people more than others. I think, let's try and get rid of the emotion, go for a walk, shout at somebody, do what you have to do. But then let's work through the causes, the rationality of what was the reason and get others' perspective for it. Things went wrong. How can we learn from that and not do that again? We have to accept that it's emotionally very powerful, but move on. The people I know, the entrepreneurs I know who've been very successful, what's always surprised me about them is how quickly they've moved forward. They look back with what lessons I can learn, but look forward. They're not handicapped by it. They've not been emotionally broken by it. They've said to themselves, this is an opportunity to learn something. Everybody fails. This is my learning opportunity. I think mindset's an interesting concept. It comes from a woman called Dweck, and she talks about people having a fixed versus a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, I have a certain amount of ability. If I fail, I don't have that ability. As opposed to a growth mindset saying, I fail, I can learn something, I can do something very different. So you could call it optimism, pessimism, you could call it flexible versus fixed. The issue here is the mindset of success. One of the things I've noticed with successful people is their goal. Their goal is not to be rich. Being rich is a product of being successful. The goal is to do the best, be the quickest, be the most efficient, and very clear focus on that goal. So the mindset is achieving a particular goal, saying, I can learn stuff, we can get better, we as a group can learn from our failures. Burnout's quite a common issue with people. Many get burnt out, particularly, I think, entrepreneurs. You put such a lot into working in the business and you become emotionally and physically burnt out. You become exhausted. I think that's why people learn to try and have health regimes, which, good sleeping, good eating. It's where you get caught up in something, you get caught up in a frenzy of activity, which leads to burnout. And you've seen some people, I've met a number, who are emotionally burnt out and they've left it too late. I think what we all need social support. We need people who can wisely tell us to slow down, wisely tell us to change some habits, rather than get caught up till it's too late. I think time, how long things take to do. Most of the founders I know are people in a hurry. They're young, they're excitable, they're frenetic. So the assumption is that things can be done more quickly than they can. The other is to assume that everybody you work with is like you, prepared to put in the same amount of effort for the same reward. Sometimes that's true. The problem with that sometimes is homogeneity versus heterogeneity. In other words, being very similar. If the four of you, the startup people, you're sitting there with your laptops, you have a vision, you've got a lot of energy, that you're on the same page, but you're so much on the same page that there's nobody with an outside perspective. There's a lot of issues now about diversity and heterogeneity and groupthink. And I think a lot of startups, young, enthusiastic, hardworking, bright, all of which are extremely desirable, but there's often not a counterweight. Somebody saying, well, perhaps you could do things differently. Not that you don't share the same value and vision, that's important, but you do things slightly differently. And also, the knowledge that many things you try won't succeed. And that's an expectation which people don't have. Oh, there's one final one. I was thinking about it just yesterday, because a number of people come to me with startup ideas. And the thing I've noticed most of all is the successful ones spend a lot of time with the potential clients and customers. They start like Mr. Jobs. What does the client want? What does the customer want? What is their perspective? Not, here is my very clever app. I've done this brilliant thing. Yes, it might be brilliant, but if the client and the customer doesn't see it, it doesn't matter. So the issue is start with the end user. Tell the engineer what the end user wants, not the other way around.